I finished reading Dorohedoro, and now I want to yap about it. But before I do that, two big things. This is your spoiler warning. And secondly, I want to read the very last page, word for word, of the Dorohedoro manga. Because I feel like it really encompasses the series, or at least it encompasses what Q Hayashida is trying to say at the very end. So once again, this is the final spoiler warning before we get into the Dorohedoro finale. Alright, cool. So, Q Hayashida ends the manga with the following. Quote, "Things we learned from Dorohedoro, everything goes back to chaos. That's what Dorohedoro is all about. The end." And for a manga that went on for 18 years, switched publishers 2 or 3 times, this can be one of two things for a reader. I myself interpreted this as, yeah, that makes sense. But to other people, I guess it felt like a slap in the face. But like I mentioned, I'm not in that camp. There's plenty of Reddit threads, there's plenty of YouTube videos criticizing the ending, or at least the final couple volumes and chapters of Dorohedoro, but I'm not really going to do that. Now, did I have issues with the ending? Sure. But I more so wanted to make this video to sing Q Hayashida her praises. And I kinda wanted to reiterate why I really enjoyed reading Dorohedoro. Now, I mentioned this in one of my previous videos, but I just really like Kaimon and Nikaido's relationship. And for better or worse, that really carried this series for me. Well, them and Johnson. The fact that we have a 7-foot cockroach that all they know how to say is shocking is absolutely hilarious to me. But my goat aside, I would like to stress the fact that yes, Nikaido and Kaimon just simply caring for each other really connected with me in this manga. And although it wasn't pretty getting there, it was still nice to see that in the end, they end up together, not necessarily in a romantic way, but in the way that we've always known them, as best friends running a gyoza shop. Because in the end, despite the world literally almost ending, they were there for each other. And not only them too, I liked that pretty much everybody got a happy ending. The Devils won their bet against Chitamura, which was pretty cool. The N family was reunited and mostly staying away from crime. But most importantly, the people of the whole finally get to be at peace in a way. Because it's been made very clear that the sorcerers have stayed away from the whole since Holy tried to destroy all sorcerers. And in a way that's good. Sure, is there still a class divide between sorcerers and humans? Yeah. But at least at this point where we leave off, they're not fearing for their lives anymore. At least not in the same way. I could nearly be brought to tears with the fact that Johnson is still alive. I'm so happy. But if there was one thing that I absolutely wanted to talk about, which was a gripe against the ending, was how Kaimon became a sorcerer. Now, the fact that Q Hayashida even included some graphics as to how this exactly worked, plus the bonus chapter on how it actually worked, I'm fine with that. The explanation, sure. And sure, I found it absolutely hilarious that Kaimon ended up getting gyoza powers in the end. But I've always really liked that Kaimon just goes up against some of the most powerful sorcerers like Shinonoi by just throwing hands. And even at the start of this whole confrontation, Kaimon still tries to go toe-to-toe with Holy with just using, sure, the magical all-powerful store knife, but it's still just a knife. Kaimon was still actively throwing hands. But the fact that we pull this out in the final chapters of the manga just doesn't sit right with me. And don't get me wrong, stuff like this has always bothered me. Now, do I think it's the worst thing ever? No, but I'll just use Yu Yu Hakusho as an example here. When Yusuke fought Toguro in the Dark Tournament arc, that went hard because Yusuke didn't have any demon powers. He was just some delinquent. But then later on, when Yusuke fights Sensui, he's got demon powers, and that just doesn't feel right. But I'll stop there, because I'm no expert when it comes to the Dorohedoro manga. I'm just a guy. And overall, even though I found the ending to be disappointing, it's not going to stop me from recommending this to people. I thoroughly enjoyed my time with Dorohedoro. It's a manga that I think, when it was at its simplest, was at its peak. And what I mean by that is stuff like with the character interactions, with the world building, and like I previously mentioned before, the relationship, the friendship of Nikaido and Kaiman. Those three things alone, to me, make Dorohedoro a worthy read. So thank you, Q Hayashida, for this piece of art. Thank you for putting your blood, sweat, and tears into this series for 18 years, because there's nothing quite else like Dorohedoro. And so I will be looking forward to reading Die Dark in the very near future. Now, if you made it this far into the video, I really hope that you read Dorohedoro or that you didn't care for spoilers, because now I'm going to ask, what did you guys think? Was the ending yay or nay for y'all? If anything, just let me know who your guys' favorite character is. Now, in my honest opinion, for me it's Shin. Shin has, in my opinion, the most interesting backstory. He's got a pretty cool mask, and his power is freaking wild. Like the whole dismemberment, but you're still alive to feel everything type power is crazy. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate the continued support. If you enjoyed what you saw, please feel free to drop a like, share the video, or subscribe. This has been Sagi Taco, and I will see you guys in the very near future. Hasta luego.